Welcome back to my channel. I'm Joe with Smokin Joe's Pit Barbecue. On today's video, I'm going to be smoking up a pork shoulder on my brand new Grill at Grill's Kamado style grill. Stay tuned. All right, let's make our rub for this pork shoulder. I'm gonna start with half a cup of the Barbecue General seasoning from PS Seasoning. This stuff is fantastic. It's like SPG on steroids. I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of black pepper. This is a coarse black pepper. The last ingredient is some smoked paprika from SPQR. Check out the link below and grab yourself some of this. It is absolutely delicious. Again, 1/4 cup. It's going to give us a really nice color and flavor as well. Most paprika, a lot of people use paprika mainly for color. Well, with this paprika, we're going to get some color and some amazing smoky flavor as well. Cover this up, give it a good shake. All right, I'm going to set this aside. Let's trim up our pork shoulder. All right, so I'm starting with a 10-pound pork shoulder. Now, there's a lot of back and forth whether you should remove the fat cap or not. I'm a guy that likes to remove the fat cap, and the reason for it is you're gonna apply all the seasoning and then remove the fat cap at the end. There's a lot of people that like to chop the fat cap into their pork, and I am not that guy. I believe that the pork shoulder has enough fat inside of it, so we do not need this fat cap on top. So I'm just gonna start trimming that down. And I like to trim down to the bacon, okay? And the bacon is a thin strip of meat in between the fat and the pork shoulder. Man, this knife is extremely sharp. All right, you can start to see the bacon right there. So that's gonna be my guide. There it is right there, okay? That's where I stop. Check out that beautiful bacon, marbled. Now, I don't throw all this trim away. You guys know that I love to make sausage, so I save that for my sausage making videos. All right, so that's about it. There's only one more spot that I like to trim up, and it's on the bottom side where you have this glob of meat right here, okay? I like to take that down a little bit and remove all this nasty kind of loose fat on the bottom. Now, I don't save that, okay? That goes right into the trash. There's a really big blood vessel in here. I'll show that to you guys. See that right there? I like to take that completely out, okay? All right, before we get started on this video, I do want to thank today's sponsor, Magic Spoon. I gotta tell you, I am absolutely loving the Magic Spoon cereals. They have some amazing flavors like maple waffle, blueberry muffin, honey nut, and my daughter's personal favorite, cookies and cream. So a couple of reasons on why I love this Magic Spoon cereal is because it's delicious and healthy, and the flavors are never boring. I'm gonna serve myself a nice bowl of this maple waffle cereal. This is absolutely delicious. As I mentioned earlier, the cereal is healthy. It's got 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. Also, there's only 140 calories for each serving. This Magic Spoon cereal is also keto friendly, also gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and low in carbs. These cereal flavors remind me so much of when I was younger, waking up on Saturday morning, watching cartoons, and bouncing off the wall all day because of how much sugar was in these cereals. With Magic Spoon, there is 0 sugars in each serving. Make sure you guys click on the link below and grab yourself a variety pack and try it today. Be sure to use my promo code Smokin Joe, that's SMKNJOE at checkout, and get $5 off any order, or go to magicspoon.com/SMKNJOE. All right, let's get some of this maple waffle cereal action here. Check that out. Oh yeah. All right, let's rub up our pork shoulder. I'm gonna start with some mustard as a binder. Get the sides and the bottom side as well. All right, so here's our rub. Check out that nice red color. That smoked paprika is gonna give this pork shoulder a really nice red color. So we're just gonna do this the Texas way. Grab a fistful of rub and shake it all over that pork shoulder. Ooh, this smells good. Don't forget your sides. And the bottom side. All right, I'm gonna finish seasoning this up and we'll see you guys outside. Stay tuned. All right, so here's my brand new Grilla Grills Kong Kamado style cooker. And I gotta tell you, I have been wanting one of these ceramic style cookers forever. And I'm so excited to finally do a cook on one of these Kamado style cookers. Let me show you the inside of this. So we've got two 24-inch grates. You can actually remove the top one if all you wanted to use was the bottom one. Real simple, just like that. You also have a heat diffuser right here. I'm gonna take this out. You have the hanger for your heat diffuser. So on the inside, you have this kick-ash basket, which I absolutely love. So once you're done with a cook, you can just shake that off. It throws all the dust to the bottom and keeps the nice coals inside this basket. So I'm loading up the basket about halfway with lump charcoal. All right, so let's light up these coals. I've got my grill gun from Grill Blazer. This thing is absolutely amazing. Check the description box and grab yourself one of these. I'm just gonna light up one section, okay, just one area. All right, so about a minute later, those coals are lit. All right, so I'm gonna reinstall the heat diffuser bracket. Now I did cover the heat diffuser with foil just to keep it clean. Now you can also use this to make pizzas on top of, so that's why I'm gonna keep it nice and clean. You can cover it with foil, it's not gonna affect anything. I'm gonna reinstall our lower grate. Wanna make sure this door right here is towards the front, that way you can add charcoal if you need to. All right, so I'm gonna use an aluminum foil pan just to keep everything nice and clean, catch all those drippings. And I'm going to reinstall our top grate. Just like that. I'm gonna close the lid. I'm gonna set the exhaust to 2. And the intake, I'm gonna have it about halfway open. All right, so I'm gonna let the temperature get up to about 250 degrees, and I'll bring you guys right back. All right, so one thing I forgot to do was put my chunks of post oak in there. So I took everything back out, put my post oak back in there. I'm gonna reassemble everything and wait for that temp to come up to 250 degrees. Stay tuned. All right, so the temps have stabilized at 250 degrees. Let's load up our pork shoulder. Check that out. It's 30 minutes later, okay? So it took about 30 minutes for those temps to stabilize. Now I did add a little bit of water to my drip pan right there. So one thing that I've heard about these is do not have this lid open for an extended amount of time because the temps will actually climb up on you. As you can see, the coals have lit up on the bottom. So I'm gonna shut this down. So I do have my intake at 1/4 of the way open, and my exhaust, I've got it set at number 1 right here. So I'm gonna let the temperature stabilize, again, 250 degrees, between 250 and 275 I'm okay with. At that point, I'm gonna let this cook for about 4 hours, and I'll bring you guys right back. Again, I will not be opening this until I bring you guys back in 4 hours. Stay tuned. All right, so 5 hours into our cook, and this Grilla Grills Kong is running at 275, steady as can be. I wanna show you the exhaust setting is probably at the half mark between the 0 and the 1, and that's giving me 275 degrees. As far as the intake, you can see 2 holes on the intake plate at the bottom of the grill. So let's get an internal temperature and take a look at our pork shoulder. Oh my goodness, look at that. Man, that looks ready. Like, it's only been 5 hours, but let's get an internal temperature here. No, it's not ready. We're sitting at 153 degrees, 154. Little hotter on this side at 169. By the bone is 163. Right in the middle, 154 degrees. So this has quite a bit to go still. I'm gonna let it go for another couple of hours. We'll come back, take a look at it, and maybe we'll wrap it up in foil. Stay tuned. All right, so 7 hours into our cook. Let's take a look at the pork shoulder. Oh my goodness. All right, so first off, this thing smells absolutely amazing. Let's get an internal temperature here. Ooh, 188, 189, 190. It is almost ready. Close to the bone, we're still at 170 degrees. About 169 right in the center. So I think I'm gonna wrap it up in foil just to speed up the cooking process. All right, so I got 2 sheets of aluminum foil here. Just gonna grab the pork shoulder. And by the way, close the lid to your Kong just to prevent a flare up. So let's wrap this baby up nice and tight. Man, this smells so good. Now in Texas, we call using aluminum foil the Texas crutch. And the reason they call it that is because we're speeding up the cooking process by wrapping up whatever meat, whether it's brisket or pork shoulder, really nice and tight in foil, just to speed up the cooking process. Guys, I gotta tell you, this thing is running really nice. 7 hours with the same coals. Talk about efficiency. All right, so I'm gonna rapidly close the lid to prevent a flare up. All right, so I got the exhaust and the intake in the exact same position. I'm looking for 275 degrees, which it looks like we're there already. As far as the pulled pork, I'm looking for 205 degrees internal. I'll let you guys know exactly how long that takes. Stay tuned. All right, so the pork is almost ready. So I'm gonna make some coleslaw. I've got a head of red cabbage. Just gonna cut it in half. Not sure what they call this red cabbage when it's purple, but whatever. So I'm gonna use about half of this. All right, so I've got about 1/4 of this red cabbage head. I'm gonna dump that into a bowl. Very simple recipe. Got about 3 tablespoons of mayo, 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, about 1/4 teaspoon of celery salt, 1 teaspoon of white sugar, and a splash of apple cider vinegar. Give this a good mix. All right, so I'm gonna pop this in my fridge, let it chill out, and I'll bring you guys right back. All right, so the pork shoulder is ready, and the total cook time was 8.5 hours. And I did have the Kong running between 250 and 275 the entire cook. And I gotta tell you, it's still really hot. I actually shut the exhaust down and the intake down to turn off the coals. But I'm thinking that thing would have cooked for 24 hours if I let it. The aroma in here is absolutely savage. This smells so good. Look at this, it's still really hot. It's smoking still. Let's do the bone test and see how we did. Yes, sir. Nice and juicy too, check that out. All right, let me just take out this foil. Ooh, man, look at that. Juiciness. Man, this thing is falling apart on its own. Look at this. Man, that is perfect. So what I like to do is take out some of the heavy pieces of fat that are in here. And then I'll pull it and mix it all together. So just some of this fat, very little fat in here. All right, so I'm just gonna use this bone to chop this all up. Little pro tip. You have a nice smoke ring on the meat. Check that out. Yes, sir. I'm gonna add some of the rub that we used earlier. Just like that. I wish you guys were here so you can smell this. It smells absolutely amazing. All right, let's give this a taste and see how we did. All right, got me a nice pinch of this pulled pork. Still really hot. Here we go. Man, this is so good. I gotta tell you that smoke concentration is fantastic on this pulled pork. There's something special about cooking in a ceramic grill like that. All right, let's make ourselves a pulled pork sandwich. All right, let's make ourselves a pulled pork sandwich. Got some of our coleslaw that we made earlier. Next, grab a handful of this fresh smoked pulled pork. Don't be shy with it. Put our lid on it. Let's give this bad boy a try. All right, here we go. Check that out. Does that look yummy or what? Cheers. I gotta tell you, this barbecue General rub is fantastic, and the smoked paprika is amazing on this pulled pork. All right, so I wanna talk about that Grill of Grills Kamado style grill. That thing is amazing. I am so pleased with this cook. The construction of that grill is second to none. I put that thing together, it went together nicely, it ships nicely, and it cooks absolutely amazing. So I've been wanting a Kamado style grill for a very long time, and I always told myself that when I got one, the very first thing I would smoke is a pork shoulder. So why a pork shoulder? Well, I'm not familiar with this style cooker. This is the first time that I've ever cooked on a ceramic grill like this. And I gotta tell you, I've heard a lot of people struggle with the temperatures on these things, and I didn't have any issues. You just really have to learn the intake and the exhaust portion, and once you figure that out, it is money. The other reason I chose a pork shoulder is that pork is very forgiving. So if you overcook it, it's still gonna be good. In this case, it was absolutely perfect. I hope you guys enjoyed this pulled pork video. If this is your first time to my channel, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Until next time, Joe with Smokin Joe's Pit Barbecue. See ya.